What is up, comic fans? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark, and I'm here today with my top 5 picks for next week's new comic book day. If you want to see what they are, don't go anywhere. Subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up while the intro plays. Huge shout out to the channel sponsors. We got Big Time Collectibles, who sponsored the monthly Legion Loot giveaway for the channel members. So hit that join button down below and become a channel member today, and follow Big Time Collectibles on all their social medias as to not miss out on the heat they're slinging. And if you need anything cleaner press, hit up our good friend Justin over on Instagram. Let him know you found him via the channel. Take advantage of the special offer that he runs for viewers of the channel. And lastly, the Augusta Book Exchange, my local comic shop and local sponsor. Awesome shop. Be sure to hit the links in the description for all the sponsors, as well as Pop's Attic, who's going to be dropping a big announcement in the next coming days here, so you don't want to miss out on that. So let's get to it. Next week is pretty solid. Not a lot of books. Normally I try to hit a top 10 list for this, but it looks like a top 5 list is where it's at this week. Last week was massive, absolutely massive. So many great books, and this week it looks like they've gone a little bit lighter, but the books that are coming, I'm big excited for. And kicking it off, right out the bat, we have Action Comics issue number 1056 from Philip Kennedy Johnson. We just saw from the events of that, like I guess like the arc kind of wrapped up. It's saying this is part 5 of it, but we saw how it wrapped up with Metallo and Superman, and the big reveal that none other than Cyborg Superman Hank Henshaw has been the one pulling Cyborg strings. It made it look like it was Lex Luthor the whole time. Hank does have Metallo's sister, so it looks like Superman and Metallo are going to have to ally up to go try to find her. Now, this book does have a couple of backup stories, and they've all been solid this whole time. There's a Lois and Clark 2 backup story, which picks up from the events of the anniversary edition of the Death of Superman, where we were introduced to the character Doombreaker, the 4-armed Doomsday mutate character, which is super dope, wicked character, and it's also following a younger John Kent. So if you're one of the people out there who miss a young John Kent, this is a great backup story for you. And then the last issue of this, they introduced the new backup story of Steel. It's kind of priming us for the upcoming 6-issue miniseries Steelworks. So if you're a John Henry Irons fan, you're going to want to check that out. And if you're not a John Henry Irons fan, it's a great opportunity to get familiar with the character in a pretty dynamic story. Now, the backup stories are not nearly as big as the primary story in Action Comics, but they deliver in a big way, and that's what matters. Next up, we have at Dawn of DC Green Arrow issue 2. Joshua Williamson is crafting this title. It sold big with that first issue. It was billed as a 6-issue miniseries, as most of these are, but if they get enough sales, they extend them. It's already been extended to a 12-issue series, and I would not be shocked if this gets pretty much moved into an ongoing series status like Green Lantern is. But the whole premise of this is picking up with Ollie where we last saw him after the death of the Justice League in Dark Crisis. He's pretty much missing. He's gone. He's somewhere out in the multiverse, and it's up to the Arrow family to find him. We also have them moving over in their investigation to Belle Reve, which is the home of the Suicide Squad and Amanda Waller. And if you've been following my live streams and stuff, you know that I've been pointing it out left and right that they're building up to a huge event, something massive with Amanda Waller. We really last saw her in the previous Suicide Squad run where she took over Earth 3. She has her own team. They tease her at the end of Dark Crisis. You're seeing Peacemaker show up in every comic book there is, including this one. So he's kind of bridging everything together. He's like the continuity that's holding it all together. So if you think that Night Terrors is an event, nah, that's just a little placeholder. What Amanda Waller has coming is going to be the next big event at DC Comics. Next up, and man, I'm excited for this, Justice Society of America, issue number 4. So since the last time this book released, because it has been facing some delays, which I believe are because of the artists getting caught up, they've announced 3 more titles under the new Golden Age banner. You have an Alan Scott Green Lantern book coming, a Jay Garrett Flash, and a Wesley Dodds Sandman, all going to be tying in with the Justice Society of America book. This one's still billed out as only a 6-issue miniseries. I'm hoping to get an extension on it, maybe switch up the artist or whatever, but I really want to see the JSA continue. This has been a fascinating story with Helena there, Huntress, being tossed all through time, trying to catch up with Degaton, who's a time traveler, killing the JSA in all manners of ways all throughout time, trying to eradicate them permanently. This series has been fun on numerous levels as Jeff Johns is writing it and paying a lot of respect to a lot of bodies of work that he's worked on in the last decade. So there's tons of Easter eggs. This man knows his comics history, and it plays into the strengths of this for old readers and new readers alike. So I heavily suggest going back and jumping on at the beginning of this and just buckling up for a while Jeff Johns' ride. Next up in issue 4 on this, we have the Unstoppable Doom Patrol issue number 3. Again, 3 of 6, as most of these are, unless they get that extension. We have pretty much, this is like a Fallout book from the Lazarus Planet. All the Lazarus volcano exploded. Tons of people everywhere are mutated and gaining powers. And the Doom Patrol is kind of going and finding the stragglers, the lost people, the scared people, the dangerous people, and trying to bring them in to their fray to keep them safe and to teach them how to live with these new abilities. Now, this is the halfway point. So far, we haven't even started a storyline with this. All we know is they're doing that. They're just going picking up these rogue people with abilities. And this issue is no different. It looks like a misadventure is going to take them to chase down this kid who's now a wanted fugitive of the Green Lantern Corps. So Cliff Steele and Negative Man are going to go out and try to get this kid and get him back to the mansion before he can get apprehended by the Green Lanterns. And which is pretty dope because we did just start that brand new Green Lantern series from Jeremy Adams. It's featuring Hal Jordan and John Stewart specifically. So now in main continuity DC, we're getting Guy Gardner and Kyle Rayner. So that's perfect timing, especially with that new Green Lantern book, because it'll give us a little placeholder, a little catch up with these lanterns and see where they are, why they might not be in the Green Lantern book right now. As we know, Jeremy Adams is trying to keep that real tight, real simple, and kind of build it back out. So I'm excited to see the Green Lantern characters in this more than really anything. I do really like what they've been doing with Doom Patrol so far. That second issue, what a curve ending that just hits you right in the feels. Super duper solid. And the last book, and this book will be on my list every week it drops, and that's Exo Manowar Unconquered issue number 3. Becky Cloonan and I think it's something Conrad is writing it together, but Liam Sharp is doing the cover A's and the interiors, and this has been super duper solid. You can get lost in the artwork alone, and the story is delivering and playing to the strength of the art as well. You pretty much have Exo captive by these enemies for this story. It's the Novus Romano. It's basically ancient Romans that were captured by aliens, taken into space, led a revolution, took over the alien ships, and spent 2,000 years in space through the cosmos with alien tech and evolved that way. And now they're coming for Exo's suit. They've got a weakened version of Exo on board. Now he knows who his captors are. He knows who his enemies are. And they've got a hot-headed warrior named Tyrina. What is it? Thyra? And she has her own suit. It's a TO armor suit. So this next issue, we're about to see an armor battle between a weakened Exo and a TO suit. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. I'm excited to really add to the mythos of this story. It's rich and vibrant artwork. It's just, dude, it's a badass book, like hands down. And those are the top 5 picks I've got for this week. Definitely something I'm excited for. If you want to know what my number 1 book for the week is and why, check out the Comic Vets channel. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're excited about, what you're picking up this week. What did I miss that I need to read? I just can't miss. I'd like to know what you think that's going to be. And be sure to hit that notification bell so you know whenever I go live. I do 3 live streams a week. I've got the new DC live stream every Tuesday at approximately 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. Got At Week's In, which is a full spoiler review show every Sunday night at 9 or 8:30 currently. Yeah, at 8:30. And then if you just want to hang out, shoot the breeze, and just talk comics and whatever, every Friday morning at 7:30 I go live for just a community hangout. So if you haven't checked that out by now, be sure to do so. And until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.